Starting a car review with a locked-off front three-quarter shot is predictable. Having the host walk in and gesticulate authoritatively, predictable. Doing a Porsche 911 review that's filled with praise, predictable. Cutting to B-roll right now, also predictable. You get the point. Much of life is predictable, but that doesn't mean it has to be boring. Through its 8 generations, the Porsche 911 has evolved in measure, some might say, predictable ways. Predictably, the latest 911 is faster, more powerful, and more efficient than the 911s that preceded it. But do I look bored? All right, you get the premise. Let's make a predictably positive review of the 911. The 992 edition of the Porsche 911 is wider than the model it replaced and looks every bit the elite performance icon it is. Of course, you don't need me telling you how to feel about it. Take a few lingering moments to absorb its essence. Inside, there's also plenty to appreciate. Ooh, look, toggles! Man, are they knurled. That tactile interest extends throughout the cabin. It happens here on the climate control levers, the drive selector, the little starter nodule. Oh, wait, no. Turn off. All the buttons have a clicky, positive feel. Right over here. Ooh, that's nice. Even the door pull, it's got more heft than you'd expect. There is gravitas embedded into every inch of this car. Skewing pragmatic for a moment, the front trunk provides a cozy 4.6 cubic feet. If that's not enough room for you, the rear seatbacks fold down, creating a cargo floor with convenient stops to inhibit your bags from launching forward as you test the brakes. Flipped up, those are technically seats. In the spirit of curiosity, let me climb aboard somehow. Okay. Headroom's a little tight. Let's see how the legroom is. It doesn't work. Yeah, keep going. Oh, that got it. It's gone from supremely uncomfortable to merely uncomfortable. But I am in a 911, so it's not all bad. Sitting up front is a much better idea, especially with our car's optional 18-way sport seats. Incredible lumbar support, stellar lateral support that doesn't impede my arms' movements. If I were to spec my own 911, these would be on the roster. Now beat it, it's raining. I'm closing the door. Sorry, Mike. Interestingly, our Carrera S test car only came with 3 options. Besides those sweet seats, the other 2 are rear-wheel steering for added low-speed agility and improved high-speed stability, plus a sport package that merges a PASM sport suspension and a sport chrono package. Those options exist solely to enhance driving joy. Let's put them to good use. I'm not telling you anything you couldn't intuit, but the 911 steering achieves a special kind of magic. Like any good conversationalist, it speaks unambiguously without fatiguing the listener. What's that 911 steering wheel? You want me to drive faster? Okay. You know, the 911 was trying to tell us what to do all along. If only we'd listened. As the driver, you receive a constant information flow about the front tires and how they're interacting with the road. But that flow is distilled to the essentials, making the modern 911 a more than agreeable daily driver. It's an odd contradiction, but Porsche has created a car that's deeply engaging, but not overwhelming. Regardless of skill level, you too can haul booty in a Porsche 911 992. And yet there's never been a better time to Grand Tour the thing. Taking a break from all the warm fuzzies, let's talk about the many permutations of 911. Here goes. There's the Carrera, Carrera S, the all-wheel drive Carrera 4 and 4S, cabriolet versions of all those variants, the rocket ship 911 Turbo and Turbo S, plus GTSs, Targas, and any other variants that might have emerged between when I wrote these words and when I spoke them. Note, as of making this video, not all 911s have migrated to the 992 platform, but they will. And for all those prices I just showed, you'll need to add an extra $1,350 for delivery fees. Oh hey, 3-pedal fans, take heart, you can still get a 7-speed manual transmission in Carrera S models. All other 911s feature an 8-speed PDK dual-clutch transmission. In fact, our test car has the PDK.
Providing fast, smooth gear changes and the immediate throttle response of a manual transmission, the PDK is a shame-free alternative to the manual gearbox. Mike, have you learned how to say the name correctly yet?
Yes, I have. Poodle, Dinkle, Schnuckle, Kessenweiser?
Pretty close. Porsche Doppelkupplungsgetriebe. I can edit this. Porsche Doppelkupplungsgetriebe.
Almost had it. So close, so close.
Regardless of engine, where thrust is concerned, the 911 is a true powerhouse.
This is merely a Carrera S, but watch how she launch controls. By the way, you don't have to do any setup. You just put this over in Sport Plus mode, brake pedal, gas, release. Oh boy. Wow.
Even the base Carrera can blast from motionless to 60 miles per hour in 4 seconds, according to Porsche. Make that 3.8 with the Sport Chrono package. Go Turbo S with the Sport Chrono package, and Porsche claims a 0 to 60 time of 2.6 seconds with a top speed of 205 miles an hour. Yeah.
With all that speed potential, you'll be happy to know that the brakes feel amazing. The pedal is super firm, yet very easy to manage. It gives you the confidence to drive just a little bit quicker and accidentally turn the light off with your sheer speed. And these are the regular brakes. This is standard stuff, not even the optional carbon ceramics. Hard braking. Oh yeah, that's good stuff. Thought it might turn the light back on.
If you'd like the longevity and heat resilience of carbon ceramic brakes, just tack on an extra $9,000 to the price tag. For true Porschephiles, those yellow calipers are a serious flex.
From the driver's perch, I also have to note that there is clear visibility in all directions. It's hard to overstate how a clean view of the world through which you're traveling can elevate the driving experience, even if you're just passing a Prius.
For altering your drive experience, there are sport and normal modes, but if you spring for the $2,700 Sport Chrono package that I keep mentioning, not only do you get active driveline mounts, an analog stopwatch on the dash to keep track of those lap times, and launch control in PDK equipped models, you also get the steering wheel mounted knob to select normal, sport, sport plus, individual, and wet drive modes, each offering distinct throttle, steering, transmission, and chassis behavior.
Placed in the middle of that dial is the Sport Response button. If you press it, the 911 gets ready for maximum performance for 20 seconds. It's like watching your coworkers at 4:59 on a Friday. And see you on Monday.
So far, this has been a softball, love letter, mixed metaphor of a video for the 911. It's time to dig into some nuance.
On the Mike Muzio Elbow Comfort Index, the Porsche 911 rates a stoic Teutonic squirrel. The armrests are placed a little too low for comfortable 8 and 4 usage. Consider that motivation to drive in a proper 9 and 3. The 911's familiar 5-ring gauge cluster has made its way to the 992's digital display. However, the steering wheel blocks the 2 outer rings. Suddenly, that square steering wheel on the Corvette doesn't seem so silly now, does it? The automatic engine start-stop system works pretty darn well, but it will shut off the engine in advance of coming to a stop sometimes, which takes a little getting used to. Not a big deal.
The good news is that the system is defeatable and automatically deactivates when you're in sport mode. Maybe that's the automotive god's way of suggesting you leave your car in sport mode.
You probably already know this, but the key looks like the car. Any guesses on how many of these are lost on a daily basis when people casually set them down at the bar? Oh, let me just hit my 911 keys here, huh? Ladies, what? My keys!
As a testament to the 911's ongoing evolution, check the vestigial starter and transmission controls. Give it another generation or two, and I bet these fall off completely.
While tiny, I like the drive selector's movement. It has a 2D10 option that allows you to quickly go from reverse to, it's more elegant when I do it correctly, but you can go straight from reverse to drive or drive to reverse if you need to, and one detent helps you get to neutral very simply. Nifty.
Less nifty is the absurd lack of standard smart key access.
At the risk of sounding dramatic, I am offended that our Carrera S's base price of $113,000 does not include smart key access. I have to reach into my pocket and push this unlock button and then get inside. That doesn't sound like that big of a deal. However, once I'm in here, the car knows I'm in here because you've got this weird little key-like thing that's not a key to turn on the car. You know I'm here, 911. Why are you squeezing me, man?
Comfort Access is a $550 standalone option. Offended or not, I definitely add it to my option sheet. And as a percentage of total price, $550 is barely a rounding error. Okay, I've calmed down.
I also have to mention the 911's weirdly jazzy startup chime. Ooh, 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 girl, I'm driving my 911, girl. Musicians, help me out. Is that a major seventh? What is that? Ooh, subscribe to KBB's channel, please, girl.
That reminds me of my mandolin duet with the Panamera seatbelt warning. I'm not sure who's designing Porsche's sound library, but I bet they love their job. Lastly, versus some of Porsche's previous products, the latest 911 has a simplified interior I dig. Makes me glad the era of the button farm has passed. I'll also mention that the black plastic trim near the gear selector seems prone to scratching, and no, I did not cause that scratch. Keep it quote-unquote simple, and a base Carrera includes heated seats, 2-zone climate control, an 8-speaker audio system, and a 10.9-inch infotainment display.
The interface looks clean and sharp, and I like the fact that when you use Apple CarPlay, it doesn't take over the entire screen, though as a consequence, the interface does look a little bit small. Don Cheadle's name is so little. The other thing I'll note is that on the left side, the submenus, you scroll through them, and scrolling through these while driving can be a little bit distracting. But overall, I think it's a great interface. Now more XM chill. Cut before we have to pay royalties.
Our test car is lightly spec'd, but if you want to live your best Blue Book life, hashtag Blue Book life, Porsche will happily oblige via a daunting array of exterior and interior customizations. Seriously, if you want to burn down an afternoon, go explore Porsche's 911 configurator. I'm guessing if you're shopping 911s, only a 911 will do, but as a reminder, 100 to 200 grand could also buy you an Aston Martin Vantage, an Audi R8, or a very well-equipped Corvette. Like a very well-equipped Corvette. But again, if you've always dreamed of owning a 911 or you've owned countless Porsches before, there's a good likelihood that only a 911 will do.
And why not? The 911 is a comically fast, deeply indulgent extension of Porsche's heritage. Yeah, buying one to celebrate your success might be the predictable move, but it is definitely not boring.